Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Welcome back to all my subscribers. I compare and contrast movie adaptations of books and video games, or novelizations of movies and video games, sometimes all three. If that's a fun topic for you, please subscribe and turn on all notifications. And I upload every week unless something comes up. And this week I'm getting thinner. This is what I mean by it. The book from 1984 and movie from 1996 about three white guys from Connecticut being slowly destroyed by customized gypsy curses. In covering the story, it's more than just the fatal car accident that set the sequence of events in motion. It's also a buildup of resentment and negativity from this nomadic group of people for being treated like a swarm of locusts by the locals, just for doing what they do to exist on their own terms and, conduct their way of life. Which brings me to what the book and movie share. All the central characters, especially Billy Hallock and his family, how he is content in life, successful, and unhealthfully overweight. In the book, he tops it off at just a few pounds shy of 250. In the movie, he is pushing 300 pounds. And as he's heading home after a night out, things heat up with his wife while he's driving. And during a moment of distraction, he hits an old gypsy woman and kills her instantly. In the book, there was no time to react. She darted out between two parked cars and could not be seen in time to stop. In the movie, it looks like he wasn't even paying attention. Anyway, he gets to put it behind him with minimal consequence due to some serious hometowning, but the gypsy caravan won't be so understanding or forgiving. And with the wave of his hand and a single word, the gypsy patriarch, Tadeusz Lemke, destroys Billy, and destroys Judge Carrie Rossington and the police chief Duncan Hopley. What is different is just the relationship between Billy and his wife. In the movie, she's a big health nut and she nags him about his weight and tries to micromanage his diet, even keeping track of it on her computer with spreadsheets and bar charts and stuff. In the book, they're very happy with each other as is, and still very much in love. She doesn't try to diet him, and he doesn't nag her to quit smoking. Also, the book doesn't really specify Billy's legal specialty. The movie paints him as a criminal defender, which makes for a more direct connection between him and Richard Gianelli. In the book, Billy and Gianelli had been friends for years, and Gianelli is a restaurant owner who sells dope on the side, and he's not the hitman the movie makes him out to be. Anyway, so as Billy is getting thinner, no amount of medical testing can explain or reverse this rapid deterioration. In fact, in writing as Richard Bachman, Stephen King takes a little poetic license to self-incriminate in some exchange between Billy and Dr. Houston. Behold. "Okay," Houston said, the note of disappointment in his voice both unmistakable and somehow comic. Houston sighed. "Duncan Hopley has got a case of runaway acne." Billy got to his feet and opened the door of the phone booth. Suddenly it was too hot in here. "Acne. Pimples, blackheads, whiteheads, that's all. You happy? Anyone else?" "No. And Billy, I don't exactly consider pimples off the wall. You're starting to sound a little like a Stephen King novel for a while there. But it's not like that. Dunk Hopley has got a temporary glandular imbalance, that's all. And it's not exactly a new thing with him either. He has a history of skin problems going back to the 7th grade. Very rational, but if you add Carrie Rossington with his alligator skin and William J. Hallock with his involuntary anorexia nervosa into the equation, it starts to sound a little like Stephen King again. Wouldn't you say?" Alright, the judge disappears to the Mayo Clinic, absolutely convinced he has skin cancer. when his own personalized curse, Lizard, has his skin hardening and turning into scale. It's not shown in the movie or described in the book except for through a secondhand account through his wife. But it's kind of shown in dream sequences, which are also very frequent in the book. The police chief's bad acne is magnified several times over. So much so that the 1996 stage makeup could not measure up to the condition described in the book that led him to eat a bullet. Behold. Hopley's skin was a harsh, alien landscape. Malignant red pimples the size of tea saucers grew out of his chin, his neck, his arms, the back of his hands. And just for reference, this is roughly the size of a tea saucer. Where was I? Smaller eruptions rashed his cheeks and forehead. His nose was a plague zone of blackheads. Yellowish pus oozed and flowed in weird channels between bulging dunes of proud flesh. Blood trickled here and there. Coarse black hairs, beard hairs, grew in crazy helter-skelter tufts. And Hallock's horrified, overburdened mind realized that shaving would have become impossible some time ago in the face of such cataclysmic upheavals. And from the center of it all, helplessly embedded in that trickling red landscape, were Hopley's staring eyes. Without his family's or his doctor's approval, Billy goes on a road trip to try and reason with Lemke to get him to lift the curse before he wastes away and dies. He finally catches up with them in Maine, after about 2 weeks of investigating and following. They, of course, dig their heels in and refuse to lift the curse. So he brings in his friend in the book, client in the movie, Richard Gianelli, who poisons their guard dogs, sprays their caravan with gunfire, and threatens Gina Lemke with an acid attack. And in the movie also kills her husband, all to finally get Tatta's Lemke to meet with Billy to go over the terms of lifting the curse. These terms being to serve a pie that is enchanted with his blood, and once it is eaten, regardless of who eats it, their death will pay for his life. The movie and book end with Heidi, his wife, eating some of the pie just before bed, and the next morning she's dead and rotted. And Billy is remorseless because his relationship with her has gone sour, as she and his doctor went behind his back and were going to ambush him with an order to have him committed to a psych ward. He also suspected there was more going on between them. But it backfires as he sees that his daughter also ate some of the pie. Now that he's unable to live with himself, he sits down to some pie. And that is all for Thinner. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a comment and smash that like button. And I'll see you back next week for Behind Her Eyes.